Hi, this is Aim Higher with Christopher Kai, where we interview inspiring people to share with you how you can aim high in your life, business, and community. Don't settle for the life you have, aim higher for the life you want. Today, our special guest is Kasra Torabi. He's a patent lawyer, which I don't necessarily know what that is, but we're going to have him share with us what actually is a patent attorney.
Well, Christopher, thank you for having me on. And I'll be very quick about it. Patents are basically a deal you make with the government. So where you get a monopoly, which is awesome for 20 years. Nobody else gets to make or that method or that process or that device that you've made, that invention. And in exchange, you got to put an instruction manual together that anyone who has ordinary skill in that art can pick it up and make it. So you're making that trade, and for 20 years you get a monopoly. And patent attorneys are the bridge to help you get that monopoly and dominate your industry and license it or get bought out. So people do it for different reasons, and we're the bridge that allow that happen.
So you saying that, I guess you're not a fan of Elon Musk because he actually gave away his patents?
I'm a big fan of Elon. In fact, what he did with patents is a very ethical use of patents. He went and got the patents. He didn't give them away. He just said, we're not going to sue anybody who in good faith uses them.
Got it.
And so guess what? His goal was originally to demonstrate that electric cars can dominate or can be viable. And because he saw people weren't catching up on it or catching up to that goal, he said, you know what, I'm going to open source these essentially and invite people in. And several companies have taken him up on that, including BMW. I'm excited about that. I'd love to see BMW's take on the Tesla.
Elon, come look for Kasra, okay?
Absolutely. Love to work with you.
How did you get started?
Well, get started in, how did I get interested or started? I mean,
Both.
Both. Okay, so I got interested since second grade, and I know it goes way back. I fell in love with inventions and how things work, and it was an incident where I had a bully, two bullies actually, and I was an ESL student, so I didn't speak English very well, I didn't speak Spanish either, and so I was a little bit out of the loop.
Where were you coming from?
From Iran.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was born in Iran, came to the US when I was 5. It took me like 2 years to catch up with the language, and for those 2 years I got bullied a lot. So by second grade, I had it. And there was a bully in our class, his name was Jack, and if I ever meet him, I'll love to have him on the show, because I'm sure he's successful now anyway. So he actually had a ninja star that he would make, and he wouldn't, the shurikens, right?
Yeah.
He would make it with paper, and it was a complex design, like you had to cut 2 strips and fold it, etc. And I was dying to know how this was made. And so one day, I pretended like I was making a ninja star, and he came over, he's like, show me that ninja star. And I said, well, you got to show me yours, and then I'll show you how to change it to make this. So anyway, I fooled my bully into doing that, and he did that. So he made it in front of me really fast, and he was like, like that, and I was memorizing exactly how he made it, and I went and taught the entire ESL class. I didn't teach the other kids, just taught the ESL class. I became a hero. They thought I was Prometheus. I had brought knowledge from the gods or something and shared it with everyone. And so from that day on, I fell in love with teaching people, and I fell in love with inventions and figuring out how things work. And so I developed a knack, and I can look at something, I can look at a patent, visualize it in my mind, exactly how it works. And a lot of my clients come to me because no other patent attorney gets what they've invented. And so I don't just patent what they bring to me. What I do is I help them invent a better version of it and then patent it for them. So that actually, coaching inventors to accelerate what they've done is like the most thrilling aspect of what I do. How I got started, I was actually pre-med. I was in the sciences, genetics, microbiology, molecular genetics at UCLA. And then I realized I asked too many questions for med school. They were like, don't ask why, just memorize. And I was like, no, I got to ask questions. So I had to go to law, and patent law was the way to go.
Interesting. And what do you find challenging in your field?
Challenging is getting people over the misconceptions they have. There's so many people, especially women, minorities, that don't see themselves as inventors. And they'll go around facing problems, coming up with solutions, but never conceiving of themselves as inventors. So somebody might invent something and say, I have an invention, but they'll never think of themselves as an inventor. So they'll think, if this one makes it, then I've made it. If it doesn't, then I'm done. And I seek to inspire people to see themselves as the problem solvers that define our species, for one thing, and especially the American spirit, the spirit of industry, of invention, of innovation. I want to awaken that in people and say, you are an inventor. If you say so, then you are that. And if you're having trouble with it, come to an invention coach like myself. I don't even know if there's another one, but I'm definitely the only.
Come to him.
Come to me.
Go to him.
And yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely enthused by helping people see themselves as inventors and making a success of their inventions.
That's awesome. One last question, Kasra.
Sure.
If you were to see yourself now at 7 years old, you literally can walk back in time and talk to yourself at 7 years old. What would you tell your 7-year-old self now that you know all the things you know about life? What would you tell?
My God.
What kind of encouragement would you share with your 7-year-old self?
Never give up on reading books. You know, I was a voracious reader, and I would say, don't ever sit after you fall. Like, after a failure, just get up immediately. And that would have, definitely pushed me ahead in life in a lot of different situations.
That's an awesome line. Don't ever sit
after you fall.
Thank you so much for being our guest, Kasra. Please subscribe to our channel. Please leave in the comments who you might want me to interview. And remember, the best way to change your life is to change the relationships in your life. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.